Jofo in the ring, and yes, my name is Frank Jofo, and we have a special guest, a returning guest, one of my favorites, PJ Savage. What's going on, brother?
It's good to be back on Jofo in the ring, man. I missed you guys. It's always an honor to be on this podcast. I love you guys, love the whole Jofo community. So fuck it, man. It's glad to be back on, man.
You know what? It's always a pleasure to have you here. And you know what? We're talking about some big matches here. I know that on October 14th, you will be facing Anthony Gangone for the title. What's your thoughts going into this big match on October 14th for Titan Championship Wrestling?
Man, it's huge, man. It's been, 2 years since I've been at Titan Championship Wrestling, chasing the heavyweight championship, going for everything. I remember when I first got on Jofo, it was a couple weeks leading up after my first match at Titan Championship Wrestling. Anthony Gangone, he's a name out here, man. He's a name in New York. He's a name in the Northeast, especially on the East Coast. He's been all over. He's been on AEW a couple times, and he's wrestled the who's who of professional wrestling. He's wrestled Cody Rhodes. He's wrestled Johnny Gargano. He's wrestled TJ Perkins. He's wrestled so many names I can't even remember all of them. But I remember when I first broke onto the scene, Anthony Gangone was kind of the blueprint for New York guys. And just watching him from afar, watching his moveset, watching how he handles everything. So it's kind of awesome to be staring down the barrel of a gun. And at the end of that gun is Anthony Gangone, man. And it's the toughest challenge to date the past couple months at Titan Championship Wrestling. I've been on a high. I've wrestled. It started all the way back from Chris Dickinson, going up the Wrecking Ball Legursky, TJ Marconi, one of those guys from the same stock of Anthony Gangone, then wrestling Homicide in the Highline Arena, wrestling Colby Corino down in North Carolina, and beating Colby Corino in North Carolina. Like that, it was huge, man. And that was just a couple months ago. That was, a matter of fact, that was last month. And coming back, and now the grudge match where it kind of all started was Monster Mac a year ago, where I couldn't beat Monster Mac, the man who was wearing the Ring of Honor legacy and the Hit Squad. He represents New York. It's probably on the Mount Rushmore. And last week or 2 weeks ago, I finally got that win over Monster Mac, man. So it's time. It's time for me and Anthony Gangone to go again. And the last time I was in the ring with him, he pushed me to my limits, man. 25, 30-minute match. And that man pushed me to the limits, and he put me to sleep. So now it's time for the tables to turn, baby. It's time.
Well, I think he knows what he's up against, and we all know what he's going to be up against. I know that there was a match that you just said right before against Homicide, and I know that it meant a lot to you to fight Homicide. What was the emotions seeing him across the ring from you in that match?
Oh man, that was cool, man. That was cool. Homicide, just a TNA legend. A Ring of Honor legend, man. Like, this is a guy. I watched him beat Daniel Bryan for the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship. I watched it. I, literally watched it live, man. And just to be across the ring from that, right before he went to Japan. So it was cool, man. And to know, how many more does he have left in him? Maybe another year or two. He told me in the back. He was like, I don't know how much longer I got, but I'm glad I got to give you this. While he's still in his prime. I don't care what no one says, man. That man could go. He could make anyone throw up underneath that ring. That man pushes you to your limit. We wrestled in the Highline Arena, which is this hockey rink, and he threw me into the goal with PJ Savage. So it was cool, man. It was cool, and there was a couple moments. One of them is on my Instagram and all my social medias where you see me and Homicide talking in the back. But the moment I cherish the most from that is in the ring with him, where me and him are kneeling, and you kind of see the picture, and I looked at him and I said, everything I said in the promo and the lead up and in the locker room, everything I've said about you is true. I'm a guy that, I say these things in promos and I might put a guy over, but I mean it. If I say something, I mean it. If I don't like you, I mean it. If I look up to you, I mean it. You know what I'm saying? I said the same thing about Monster Mac. And I told him, man, and he goes, nah, man, I'm not that great, man. And I said, I'm tired of my kings being humble. And, it's just that New York mentality. We want it all. We want to have it. But we have to come in humble. We have to, smile and say we're not that good. And Homicide's he's a fucking legend. Pardon my friend. He's a legend in this game, man. And Homicide, being in the ring with him, I learned so much. Being in the ring with him. It took me to another level. This version of PJ Savage would eat up every version of PJ Savage there was before him. I'm on another level mentally. I get the game. I'm getting in the best shape of my life, and it's slowly coming all together now. It's slowly coming all together.
Well, opportunities will follow with your dedication, and I know that the top is the only where you want to go. But for me, that match it meant a lot to me because I was a big Homicide fan as well. I saw him in a couple of matches in Catalyst Wrestling as well as much as Anthony Gangone as well. But to see you both go at it, I could see you one day being in Ring of Honor or AEW. Is that still a dream of yours in the future, PJ?
100%, man. I've kind of adopted the mentality of slow and steady wins the race, and other guys might get there before me. People that I'm with might get there before me, but we all have our path, and I'm on the path of knowing that when I get there, and I'll promise you right now, and I'll promise everybody else that's watching this, one day, very soon, I will be the best professional wrestler in the world. There's no doubt in my mind, not a single doubt. And I will get there, whether it be AEW. AEW is the place I want to be. There's so many people I want to wrestle with. Samoa Joe is a guy that I want to go toe-to-toe with. Claudio Castagnoli is a guy that I've admired from afar for so long. Watching him in WWF Cesaro and then now what he's doing on... I watched him on the Indies when he was the one creating all these crazy-ass moves, and he was the wrestler's wrestler. There's another guy that's on my bucket list, and I want that match more than anything, and that's Eddie Kingston. I want that match. Being the New York guy, man, I wear that proudly. You know that. Like, I wear that. Being representing New York City, it's huge for me, man. I want to be on the middle of the Mount Rushmore of New York City when it's all said and done. And Eddie Kingston's up there, man, and he wears the belt that I've always coveted. There's 2 belts, 2 championships, besides the WWE Championship and the AEW World Championship. There's 2 belts that I've always coveted, and that's the NWA 10 pounds of gold, the World Heavyweight Championship, and that's the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship. Those 2 belts, man. Before it's all said and done, I will hold both those belts.
Well, you know what? We'll do everything in our power to get your voice out there. But Eddie Kingston versus PJ Savage is a money match. I would love to see it. If anyone's out there to want to book that, I would love to see that. Other than that, everything has been going good with you. I know that you faced Monster Mac for the second time. Was there a difference between the first time and the second time facing that big savage of a man in the
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was a difference, man, and it was going through the curtain. And I remember the cameraman, a guy that I work with, he's insanely talented, named Kevin Wood. He wanted a Stone Cold shot. Remember Stone Cold? And he was walking through the locker room, and he comes out, and the glass shatters, and he comes out. He wanted that same shot with me, and I was like, hell yeah, sign me up. I'll do it. Why not? And we timed it horribly. It was horribly timed. I remember when we go, all right, let's start filming this, and I hear my sirens, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta, like, we're doing this live, brother. This is one take. We're hitting this, and the confidence I had of just like something like that would have never fazed me. It didn't faze me. It didn't bother me. I didn't think about it. I came out, I hit my stride. And before, when you first get in this game and when you first start doing these indies, when you first start having those big matches, you kind of lie to yourself and say, I need to have a routine. I need to go out. I need to drink my water, eat my banana, have a protein shake, do 12 push-ups, and do 13 sit-ups before I walk through the curtain. But I've slowly dissolved that, and I could just walk through the curtain and be me and flip that switch whenever it need be. You know what I'm saying? The switch is always on with me, if you want to be honest. So the difference between the first version of PJ Savage facing Monster Mac was PJ was still trying to figure shit out. Yeah, you know me. I always had the hunger. Even before I entered the Indies, I always had the hunger of wanting to be the man, wanting to be the best guy out here. And now it's like, yeah, I've always had that, but I still had to figure out a lot of stuff and figure out you don't need that routine. You don't need to have everything set up before you go out. The confidence should just always be there. And that was one of the nights it proved to me that the confidence was just there. And I owe a couple guys a lot. It's 3 guys in particular on the road to where I'm at now. And one is Anthony Gangone. Being in the ring with him and going as long as we did and getting a fight forever chant and just lighting the crowd up, that took me to a whole nother level of confidence. Being in the ring with Homicide, it smartened me up. It made me think about all the nuances and all the little things and where to explode and where to knock somebody out and where to take my time and set up my shot. Like that, it taught me so much, man. And then Kobe Carino, it was like, okay, let me see if I can put this Homicide and Anthony Gangone mentality together and see what I could do going against Kobe Carino in North Carolina for the Andre the Giant tribute show. That was huge, man. That was huge. And we tore it. We tore the roof off the place. And one of the things I take a lot of pride in, earlier this year, I went to Puerto Rico and wrestled in Puerto Rico for a little bit. And I remember walking through a curtain and telling myself what Sami Zayn always said. He always said this in podcasts, where it was like, always go through that curtain knowing that no one knows you. That no one, it's the first time someone's seeing you. And you always have to have that mentality, because you get hit with shock. When you're so used to walking through that curtain, yell Savage, and everybody's yelling Savage, and everybody goes crazy. And then next thing you know, I'm in Ponce, Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico. I come out and I yell Savage, and it's crickets. Like, there's a shock that goes through your system. Yeah. There's a shock. And I remember always telling myself, whenever I'm in a new territory, a new place, no one knows you. So don't let that shock you. And make them know your name. Make them remember who you are. And I remember in Puerto Rico, no one knew who I was at the beginning of that match. I worked with a great heel in Joey Conway, and we'll talk about him later. But at the end of that match, they started chanting Savage. And it wasn't Salvaje in Spanish. They were chanting Savage. It was like, this is PJ Savage. Savage, Savage, Savage. And it was cool to get that in Puerto Rico. And then I did the same thing in North Carolina. Versus the hometown guy, man, where the fans were chanting my name. They were smacking my hands when I was leaving after we finished the match. And then at the end of that show in North Carolina, I came out to make a save, which, like, it's Titan's first time in North Carolina. Yeah. No one should give a fuck about PJ Savage running out in the main event. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed, because I just didn't even think about it, I noticed when the fans noticed it was me, they popped. And it was like, I got you. In less than 40 minutes, I got you. So with those three guys and those three experiences combined, it really shaped who I am now. And that version of Monster Mac that faced me a couple weeks ago wasn't ready for that. And it was a monster he created, if I got to be honest.
Yeah,
Monster
exactly.
Mac, he's been secretly my mentor behind the scenes, man. He's grooming me. You know, one of the things I want to say, I said this to Mac after the match. I want to give you your flowers, because I'm tired of wrestlers not receiving their flowers while they're still here. And I'll say it again, man. He deserves his flowers. Monster Mac might have never had the big contract, been on an AEW big stage, getting the big push. But the amount of work that man has put in behind the scenes for guys like me and Gangone and TJ Marconi and so many other countless guys that he's crossed paths with, Sean Pratt, so many guys, man. He's elevated us to make sure that we can get to that big stage, because he did it. And Monster Mac has been detrimental to me. So beating him and getting that win over him and shaking his hand and throwing up the hit squad at the end of that match, that was everything, bro.
That's insane. I just got goosebumps, man, just thinking about that right now. But you were talking about Puerto Rico. Tell us the experience you had in Puerto Rico. Was that your first time ever wrestling in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, man. It was cool as shit, man. It was a great experience, man. If we got time, I got a little bit of a dark side of the ring story for you, brother.
Go for it, bro. Go for it. The floor is yours, man.
This is the first time I'm breaking this story out on a podcast. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's gonna be Jofo. So we got sent out to Puerto Rico, and just everything with the company. And I'm not gonna name the company because that wouldn't be fair. But it wasn't their fault anyway.
Okay.
The match, everything was great. I wrestled Joey Conway. We went on behalf of Wrestling Is Now with the Maximos, the SAT, legendary SAT, and they've kind of become my trainers now also. And so it was a couple of us. We went out there. We absolutely fucking killed it. And one of the things that I'm from New York. I'm from the East Coast. So like we have that mentality on the East Coast, especially in the New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia scene, Connecticut. We have that mentality of, if you're on first, you're on second, you're on third, you're on fourth, or you're the main. It does not matter. You're going in there to kill it, to absolutely destroy that arena. And after you finish, you're going to walk through the curtain and you're going to look at the guy waiting behind the curtain and go, follow that. And that guy behind the curtain is going to go, you better watch me follow that. Because you're damn right. I get hyped when someone goes, good luck with that one. And it's like, all right, cool. Now I'm going to put the game face on. You should never told me that because I'm about to break this building now. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it fires you up, brother. It fires you up. I'm fired up just talking about it. And they made the mistake of putting me and Joey Conway on first. And me and Joey Conway went 30 minutes. We had an all-out brawl. It's our first time in Puerto Rico. We don't know if we're going back. We said, fuck it. Like, we had a hardcore match. We hit each other with stairs. We had 8 minutes, brother. We went 30. And we just tore. We went crazy, and the crowd went nuts. And we went back, and everyone was pissed. Everyone was pissed. They were fucking so mad. They were so mad at us, dude, because we killed them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came out, and we just killed that crowd. But it was the first match. Still live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So, long story short, we were sitting there. We're still sitting in the venue. We're waiting for the ride back to the hotel. Mind you, we were going to wrestle back-to-back nights, and then we had a couple other shows lined up. And so that company was going to set us up at the hotel, and then we would go back to the arena the next day and wrestle again. And so that night, it's like 2 a.m, and like we're still 1 a.m, and we're still in the arena. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I know from traveling that you got to check into your hotels at 2 a.m. That's the cutoff. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, something ain't right. Either they're mad at us because we went too long and blew off the roof. Now they killed our hotel. We got to go stay at the airport. Like, it was a disaster. So like 2 a.m, they're just driving us like these random, like going 120 miles an hour on the highway. No one's on the road. I don't know if the guy's coked up or whatever the case may be. The driver is like listening to Undertaker music. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on here? You know what I'm saying? This is nuts. This is crazy. And we ended up pulling into so they told us at 2 a.m. that the hotel fell through. It was an Airbnb, and the Airbnb, something happened that they didn't give them the keys, so they were looking for a place to stay. That's why they didn't tell us anything. I was like, dang, you should have told us something, because we could have all chipped in for the hotel, and then we would have figured out things going forward. So they pull us into this love hotel. It's called the Cabana, which, if you don't know what that is, or the viewers don't know what it is, it's a place to go and have fornication with your partner. And it's just one of those places, man. And yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad. And we pull up to the first one. So this tells you where the story's going. We pull up to the first one, and the guy in Spanish tells the girl, I have 3 guys sitting in the back looking for a room. And the girl goes, what the hell? 3 guys? I'm not cleaning that shit. Get out of here. And I'm sitting there in the front seat like, oh no. What is she thinking? She's thinking like we're going to go and have fun in this with each other. No, man. So in Puerto Rico, wrestling is everything. Wrestling is like the end all be all. It's bigger than baseball. It's bigger than basketball.
Oh, we saw what happened when WWE went to Puerto Rico, and it was outstanding. And the ovations for Bad Bunny, Selena Vega, the list goes on.
Insane. I was there a week prior to that.
Wow.
So the island was like, they were hyped for wrestling. They were like, it's coming next week, so I'm getting my fix this weekend, and I'm enjoying next weekend.
That's amazing.
So I came in at a really good time where they were hot for it. So I told the driver that we pull into another one. We pull into another love hotel. And I told the driver, I go, can you please tell her that you have 3 wrestlers that we're just looking for a room to stay, 3 separate rooms. Say that. And it was a guy, he pulls out and he says that, and they end up letting us stay because we're wrestlers. And yeah, hell yeah, from New York, I'll let you stay. And man, the room was crazy. I'm talking stains all over the place.
Oh my God.
I'm talking, it was bad. Just like, imagine the worst situation in the Love Hotel, and that room just got cleaned. And that's where we was at. And then our boy next to us, the funniest part was, so one of the guys goes, I'm staying with you, Savage. Like, me and you are sleeping in this bed together. I'm not staying out there. I'm like, you know what? I'm just as scared as you are right now. So you're damn right. We're sleeping together. We're cuddling tonight. So our other boy was kind of used to this shit. He's wrestled in Ecuador before.
Okay.
So we go over to his room, and I'm looking at his sheets. It was the same room. It was identical. When you go lights on, the disco ball drops. lights.
Okay.
It's insane. He has the same setup, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, bro, there's red spots all over your bed. He's like, what do you mean? And we look at his bed, there's like blood spatter all over his bed.
Oh my
And
god.
then we look, there's blood spatter on the wall. And then there's blood spatter on the ceiling. I'm like, this is blood, man. Look what is it? He's like, no, it's paint. And the room is all gray and white. I'm like, God,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here, man.
It's paint. It's paint. Yeah.
You tell yourself that. You tell yourself that. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, man. But then we got an Airbnb, and then we wrestled a couple more nights, and it was awesome, man. It was a great experience just to have, to be a part of it, to go down there to Puerto Rico, where my family's from, and wrestle down there and feel that crowd, feel different energy. Yeah. That was awesome. It was another learning. I'm telling you, I'm just like gaining all these like infinity stones, and I'm like collecting them, and it's gonna create this savage monster that you're gonna see eventually.
Well, speaking about the Savage Monster, is there anybody else that you would like to face on the indie scene before you get signed to a big promotion one day?
Man, there's so many guys, man. There's so many guys. Of course, there's guys that are in AEW that still do the indies, still come out here that I want to get a taste of. Eddie Kingston's probably on the top of my list, along with Moxley and Samoa Joe. Those three guys are like the three guys that are like top. Bounty Keith, he's been out here in Texas and going up and down all the states. He's a guy I would love to tangle with. I want to kill Heel the Vikings. I just want to like go in there with that little guy, have him flip, and then catch him and just destroy him. And I feel like what I bring to the table that's different than a lot of people. I'm gonna be that power guy, but I also know how to gain the sympathy of the fans and make you. I'm a power guy that's a baby face. Like, that's very rare.
You make them feel, right? You make them feel it. Yeah.
It's very rare. And I remember when I embarked on this journey, because last year I was a heel everywhere I was at. I was IW heavyweight champion. I still am. I was winning belts all over the place, and I was doing that as a bad guy. And I was like, damn, man, being a baby face is hard. So this is kind of what I need to figure out. Because being a bad guy, it's like in the back pocket. It's just got to be an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you got to be a relatable asshole. And people figure you out and just piss people off in the right way, in a tasteless way. And people would just jump down your throat. And I wanted to be that baby face. I wanted to tap into that Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens is one of the few badass baby faces that can just like tap into that sympathy. But I'm in a different lane because I'm a power guy. So I'm kind of like the Wardlow. So I have to gain the sympathy of the fans, and it's hard. It's hard for the power guy to do that. But I'm slowly figuring it out and gaining the fan base and gaining the supporters and just putting it all together, man. So it's pretty cool, man. But as far as like guys that I want to wrestle, man, the list is long. Bounty Keith is up there. Of course, Jacob Fatu, that match it almost happened at one point. It's still on the chalkboard. There's so many other guys, man. AJ Gray, Nick Gage. There's a lot of guys. I just want to be the best, so I got to go through the best. So if anybody's considered the best, I want to run through you like a brick wall. Like, that's this next version of PJ Savage is going to be tweaks to the new era. Like, this is the last little bit of the era of this version of me, and I want to end it with a bang, and I want to end that bang off on October 14th. And then after October 14th is when you're going to start seeing that new era of me coming out and showing the new levels of what I can do. And that version of me is going to be somebody that runs through concrete. I'm telling you.
Well, that's great to hear. And PJ, we'll be behind you 100%. If there are any promotions or dates you want to promote, the floor is yours, my friend. Take it away.
Yeah, man. This Friday night, wrestling is run by the Maximos, one of the greatest tag teams to ever do it. Point blank, period. They're up there with the Bucks, the Hardys, the Briscoes. They were a part of Ring of Honor, Impact. They have a promotion now. They wanted to become the next Ring of Honor, that next kind of promotion. And I'm a part of that promotion. And when I say that promotion probably has the best roster put together, it does. It does. The tag team division is second to none. And when it comes to the heavyweight division, you got guys like me, Steve Pena, who I'm wrestling Friday night. You got Joey Conway, you got Brian Johnson, the Mecca, who was in Ring of Honor. Yeah. So it's a good mix of heavyweight. You got Chavo Guerrero in the mix. So it's a good mix of guys that just really want it, mixed in with guys who have been there. And wrestling is a place to watch. And this Friday night, they take over New Jersey again. And they might be coming to New York. So I'm going to keep that on the wraps. I'm going to keep that on the wraps. Just tease you there. And then, of course, man, everything Titan Championship Wrestling is doing, man, I want to be the face of that company. So that's a company I'm going to promote to high heavens, man. October 14th, they're doing Savage Intentions, which was previously called Furious Intentions, but I changed the name of the damn show to Savage Intentions.
I love
and
it.
I'm going for the heavyweight championship, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to walk out that building with that belt. And the day before, so Titan has an umbrella. They call themselves the Titan Enterprises. They have a couple promotions that's under their umbrella. They have Goddesses of War. They have Funhouse Wrestling. They have Outreach, and they have Chosen Pro Wrestling. Chosen Pro Wrestling is my baby. Chosen Pro Wrestling, when I had an idea, when it got brought to me that essentially they wanted me to run a company. I have a mind for it to some people. I did a lot of work with a lot of companies out here that people just don't know yet, but the people who know. And so somebody wanted to give me the keys to a kingdom. And I was like, well, all right, cool. Like I could do the creative stuff and be a booker and do all that things. I love it, but it has to be like my little identity. And one of my rules is I do not want to wrestle for my own company.
Okay.
So I'm not on the roster. I wanted this roster to be a place where PJ Savage of 2 years ago could have just sent his message, sent his shot, and got put on the show because he's from a great school like Johnny Rod's. I look at his stuff and he can go, he can wrestle. So you know what? I'm going to put you on a nice little stage with some bright lights and a lot of people here and some great guys in the locker room and people you can learn from. Let me see what you can do. So I kind of wanted to create almost like a little NXT for the independents because there isn't any. You know what I'm saying? There isn't a place where if you show up there, then, you know, we can expect this guy to be at bigger and better places. And then with Titan's going to transition into a traveling company. Okay. So, of course, there's that hole in Jersey where Titan doesn't want to leave it, in New York and Philly where Titan runs a lot. So it's like they don't want to leave those holes. So what Titan wants to do is have Chosen Pro Wrestling be that bridge when Titan's traveling. I like it. Yeah, man, and it's cool, man. And I wanted to make sure. So we had a tryout back in March, and back in March the tryout was amazing, and we had over 90 people there, and it was called the Free for All. And little backstory behind that: I was a part of the first Free for All. That was how I got a tryout with Titan Championship. So I'm here, the head of the second Free for All, so that's pretty cool, man. And then starting my own little company where I'm the producer of it, I'm producing everything. And just making sure guys that have talent or even guys that are fresh out of school or guys that are 10, 20 years in at another promotion and then they're trying to break into New York and New Jersey and trying to break in over here, bring them. Like if you got guys in Canada, send me the message right now and I'll book them. I'll make sure they're on the December 9th show. Like that's a place. You know what I'm saying? That's the environment of Chosen Pro Wrestling. And when you see somebody at Chosen, you're going to see them at these bigger promotions. And like with the announced team and the team that's running Chosen Pro, when I was choosing the team, I made sure they were promoters from other promotions to make sure that you had people from Invictus and We Are Wrestling and CZW and all these other places here meeting Pro Wrestling Magic and all the promotions that run around here. Wrestling is now. They work together at this one place called Chosen Pro, and they could stand there and go, "Oh, that guy, Trey Felipe, that guy's good. Yeah. I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna put him on my roster and see what he can do." So Chosen Pro is really, really fucking cool, man. It's really cool, and the matches are insane. They're like hungry young guys. So October 13th, they're running the show. I'm there, and October 14th, boom. And it's so much going on, man. I got my hand in everything, but the journey to become the best is still my goal, and that's never going to change.
Well, you know what? You got to keep busy in this industry, as you know, and you are the busiest man in this industry, in my opinion. And the new Titan Championship champion will be coming to you soon, Anthony Gangone. If you have anything to say to him before we let you go here, here's your shot. Give it all you got.
March, when Anthony Gangone and PJ Savage faced off, Anthony Gangone pushed PJ Savage to his limits. October 14th, PJ Savage pushes Anthony Gangone past his limits. And I defeat him and become the new TCW heavyweight champion. Point blank period, baby. Savage.
There you have it. There you have it. PJ, you know what? I let you know how much we love you here. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And we'll be on your journey to the end of time and hopefully to see you on a big promotion one day. I want to thank you again for being on the show.
Man, thank you. I love Jofo. I love what you guys do. You put Canada on the map. I love the content you guys pull out. Jeremy Prophet's one of the best talkers out here. I love everything you guys do, man. I love it. I'm honored to be a part of the Jofo family. You guys bring heart and joy to me when we talk and connect, and I know it's coming back to make me happy. I love this goddamn podcast. Appreciate everything you guys do for me, man. And I'm telling you, when I get to the big stage, I'm taking you guys with me.
I love to hear that, man. And I hope one day we will see you there. And everybody out there, follow PJ Savage's journey. Follow him on social media. Follow all his great wrestling promotions. And remember, wrestling is life.
Introducing first, out of New York, New York, he is 255 pounds and stands 6 foot tall. This is Savage.
You want to see what a savage looks like? Unchained, unfiltered, unleashed. Everything that is put in front of me right now is simply taken. I've worked too damn hard to get everything that is coming my way because no one wants to step in front of me. No one wants to face the truth of who I am, and what I bring to the table. See, this is my time now. This is the year.